on Frank Court are not storm sewers, they are sanitary sewers. And therefore, because they are not properly pitched downward because of the grade of the street, they are not capable of dealing with stormwater. I'm not an engineer. I don't know the answer to that. I just know that the two agencies that have to figure this out need to figure it out, need to talk to each other, and we will not let them blame each other and say it's their problem, because they're the city of New York, and one way or another they need to find a solution. And I think they now understand that this they went that way approach is not going to work here. So we will let you know as soon as I know when they are coming here to look, do their study, do their investigation, what they find out. They may have to do a reconstruction of Frank Court to solve the problem. But whatever they've got to do, they clearly have to do it. I mean, the pictures don't lie, right? So they've acknowledged that.
Lou, if you don't mind, I'd like not to put you on the spot. There were two people, at least, who addressed the fact that there was a town hall meeting at the old Varley's Blue Star Mothers Hall. Would one or each of you tell the councilman what took place? They don't want the same thing to happen again.
Okay.
When we attended the meeting at the Valley School, which I'm aware you weren't at.
Right.
After the meeting, we spoke to them and we brought them over to the block. And they all agreed that there was a very big problem there.
Right.
And that's something.
Who is they that agreed?
I don't know. It was Senator Golden's
Commissioner from...
I'm sure the town hall meeting was Senator Golden's, and Senator Golden doesn't fix the streets, so I'm not going to lay this on him, but...
No, it was a woman, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Marty was there that night. It was a woman from,
DEP.
was it DEP?
No.
Okay.
Plus other brass from DEP.
But
well, I'm
my
not...
husband said the other day to me when I was at work, there was an inspector from the DEP down there.
Yeah, and he probably turned around and said it's DOT's problem.
Yeah, that's exactly what he told my
Just
husband.
understand the distinction is, we are going to have a joint inspection. DEP and DOT are coming down together. I'm not exactly sure of who we're talking to at DEP, but I know at DOT we're talking to the Borough Commissioner. So, Commissioner Palmieri. So, they understand that we mean business, and, that, they both tried the same thing. It's their problem. And, that was the first couple of days of this. That is, we're not going to accept that as an answer. We expect them to tell us what needs to be done, and then we're going to expect them to do it. Now, whether it's a quick fix, I don't know. Maybe this may be a real mess. You may have to dig up the street, rebuild the sewer. You may have to live with a considerable inconvenience to get it fixed. But we'll let you know what the deal is, and then we'll decide what we want to do, and make them do it.
What is a sanitary sewer?
It's not
That's
sanitary.
not
It's not, because I have to be honest with you, we never had this problem before
They
they
don't tie into
built the
the
street and resurfaced it. We never had that problem.
I
Storm sewers go right into the creek.
I
That's the
couldn't,
difference.
I-
What is the sewer that's?
I couldn't tell you guys what the difference.
This is a storm sewer.
It's a sewer, it is.
Let's
because
keep it
it's
to,
so-
I could not tell you what the difference between a sanitary, I never even heard the term sanitary sewer
Sanitary
before.
is your sewerage going into the plant.
Flush your toilet.
Flush
Okay.
the toilet, that's
And that's
just
the round one that you
sanitary.
see on
And
top.
The other ones are storms which go into the water, go into the river.
Goes into the
We don't have
retaining
storms,
wall.
separate storms that go to the plants here.
But Joey, the
They go into
round
the creek.
The square ones at the end of the block are storms. Anything that takes in the rainwater is storms.
All I can tell you is what they told us, and I'm sorry I didn't read the letters.
They don't even know themselves, Lou.
Yeah, well, that's why they gotta come down here and look.
They don't know.
And they're gonna look, and because, we sent them the pictures. I mean, you can't argue with that, I mean, occasionally we have ponding conditions on a block, and, they come down and they say, well, we observed and da-da-da, the ponding went away in 48 hours, not a problem. We're not gonna do it. This they couldn't argue with, so they're gonna have to do something.
Gentlemen.
Yeah.
You listen, I just came out of my house, I live on Frank Court. I have 3 inches of water right now in the front of my house.
Okay.
3 days.
All right? It didn't rain today, did it? You wanna go over and look at my house?
First time.
Look at her house?
You,
Look at her house.
sir, you don't have to convince,
Okay.
you don't have to convince me. okay? I've seen the pictures, all right? I mean, the same day that, I saw the pictures, we started making these phone calls, so you're preaching to the choir here. I mean, all I'm saying is, I don't know, I'm not an engineer, I don't know whether DOT's right, whether DEP's right, whether they're both wrong, but all I know is they're the two agencies that are responsible here, and they will be here together next week to inspect the conditions here, to figure out what must be done to correct a problem that they both acknowledge exists, even if they don't acknowledge whose responsibility it is.
Do you have a confirmed date, time? that
No,
they'll
I
be
just told you I
here?
don't have a confirmed date or time. I have a letter from them saying they will be here next week. All right, they will do it jointly next week. I have a letter from both DEP and a letter from DOT, both saying that, okay?
Is there a number that can be called if they do not show up? This is 9 years they've been calling.
Slow down.
They'll show
You
up
gotta
and
know
report the
that
vote.
nobody makes a promise to me and then doesn't keep it, all right, without hearing from me, all right? So I'm gonna expect to hear from DEP and DOT by the end of next week that they have been here. Even if they say to a councilman, we've been here, we're studying it, we'll have an answer for you next week, but you can be sure, you can go to bed tonight, put your head on the pillow, and know it's guaranteed that we will follow up with DEP and DOT next week to make sure they got here and that they took this seriously and that we get answers. Guaranteed. Okay? I mean, unless lightning strikes me.
Question.
Yeah.
You were looking into some location possibly
Yes,
for
the
paintball.
paintball that was the other place I was going to go. I don't have an answer on that yet, but I have reached out to someplace not directly in the beach, but very nearby. Again, I don't want to, until they tell me they have some level of interest, I don't want to disclose it. The Parks Department is adamant that there is no appropriate place in a New York City park for paintballing. They don't want it, they won't hear of it, they consider it a liability, a lawsuit waiting to happen. And I'm really not prepared to take on the entire Parks Department on this issue, since their position is not totally illogical. But there is green area that's within our midst, not far away, that is not New York City Parks Department, that does have recreational stuff, and has been looking to me for a while to sit down and talk to them about things that they want. And so we've returned that phone call at this particular time to suggest that there's something that I would like them to look into, and when that meeting happens, I will report it. But I can't say it's going to happen next week or 2 weeks from now. We are in the process. Did not forget it.
That's the issue, don't bring that up.
Anybody else? Anything?
Uh,
Anybody up for Mayor Bloomberg's sales tax increase? Anybody
Anybody
up for Mayor Bloomberg's water and sewer tax increase?
No, vote him out.
Well, that's,
we're keeping our-
I shouldn't be the one saying that, but.
We're keeping our 31 bus though, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess we can review that. I believe I did stand here in this room
And you
3
said-
months ago and told you that those cuts would never happen, that sooner or later they would in fact implement the payroll tax. I reminded you that that was not Mr. Ravage's proposal, that was my proposal a year and a half ago when I was opposing congestion pricing. I said, what you gotta do is you need to have a broad-based tax. I suggested a 1/3 of 1% payroll tax, and son of a gun, if a year and a half later, that isn't exactly where they went. If they had done it when I had first suggested it, they'd have $1.5 billion in the bank, and we never would have been talking about fare raises or service cuts or any of that. So I guess we can assume that our colleagues in Albany have finally seen the wisdom and have come to that. And I just regret that they put everybody through this process. Although I think that I will say that I think the state senate did a service, even though the Post and the news would make you think they didn't. Because one of the things that they've insisted on, and I think it's important, is that the MTA be audited from top to bottom. And, you know, payroll tax is still our money. I mean, let's not, kid ourselves. I mean, it may be being paid by business, but somewhere along the line, we're all gonna pay it.